My name is Jackie Wilson, and I'm on Two Plane Guys.
All right, welcome back to Two Plane Guys. I'm Rick Buffkin.
And I'm Adam Beach.
Today we got Miss Jackie Wilson with us, one of the standout students from a wonderful place, Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. Welcome.
Thanks
Thanks for being here, Jackie.
Thank you.
Are you excited? Are you nervous?
Yes, I'm excited.
And nervous? Excited. Okay, well, we're good.
A little but
nervous.
I'm okay.
Okay,
you get into there. We tell everybody, don't pay attention to cameras. Just talk with us. It's just us chatting.
All right.
Well, we've been having great conversations so far.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a chance to know you a little bit last night, which was awesome.
Yeah, that was
hear
great.
Some of your experiences down at Embry-Riddle. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing right now.
All right, so I'm a student right now. I'm a rising junior, so I'm going into my third year, and I'm finishing up my airframe and power plant. So I'm on my last semester of power plant. I finished airframe, so I'm hoping to get my A&P either this year or next year. At the school, I'm part of a few clubs, so I'm part of Society of Aerospace Technicians, Association of Women in Maintenance, so I'm the secretary for that club. I am currently the coordinator for our national maintenance competition teams. We have two, so we compete at PB Expo and then MRO Americas at their AMC competition. So that's a little bit about what I do at the school right now. The teams are really fun. It's like maintenance Olympics. So, yeah.
Florida girl, live in Tampa, Florida?
Yeah. So I was...
Born and raised down there?
So
I know we talked about last night, but for everybody listening, you're from Florida, right? Originally?
Yeah, so I was born in Tampa. I lived there till I was about like 4 or 5. Moved to California for 5 years, and then Texas for 1, and then came back to Tampa, Florida. So kind of full circle.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Skateboarding. You love fishing, really? You like,
yeah,
we talked about that.
Pond fishing, or you like go out in the ocean?
I like
know
to
where
go
you're
in the
living.
ocean.
You go in the ocean?
Yeah, so my uncle, he runs like charters and party boats and stuff.
Very cool.
So he gets access to boats, so we go out a lot. So I'll catch like sea trout. I've caught in some stingrays before. I also have like my 2 paddle boards. So there's a nice little island where I live. It's called Weeden Island, but I just launched my paddle boards, and there's like snook, redfish, sheep's head.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a lot. It's pretty fun though.
And this is fresh water, right? You're not talking about out in the ocean.
This is salt water.
This is out in
so
salt
it like
water.
it connects to the bay and
Okay.
the Gulf. So yeah, it's all salt water that comes in. I've done some fresh water. Last time I went, there was an alligator, and it was a little too close for comfort.
Right.
So I haven't done much freshwater fishing.
Swat at him, try to aggravate him?
Well, I was running, and there was like, it was open by the bridge where I was, so you have to cross like a little kind of sandbar to get to the dock. And I was coming back from the dock, and on either side there's water, and I heard like splashing. So I took off running, and I have it on GoPro, actually. I have like a video of
I'd
it.
like to see the footage of that.
Yeah, no, right?
No, you can hear me running, and the GoPro is on the floor. So
Oh, yeah.
How big a gator was he? How big a gator?
It was like 6 feet. It was
That's pretty good.
huge. It was a big gator. I didn't even see it till like a family was nearby, and they were like, hey, there's a gator there, right? And I was like, I had no idea. So what I should have known, in Florida, tell you every body of water has a gator.
That's
in
kind
it,
of the
so.
general rule.
Yeah.
That's the one I have like abided by visiting Florida is if there's water, there's probably
There's a gator.
something
yeah.
in there that wants to bite you.
Silly me, I didn't really think about it because I was just like, oh, I'm just fishing. There's a dock, Thank God nothing happened.
And you didn't try and like rescue the alligator or like make it a pet or something because you said you're an animal lover.
Yeah.
You talked about
like
last
wrangle
night.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got it says here you've got a small puffer fish that you've
I do.
saved too, and
Yeah.
So you didn't like think about like, oh, maybe I can
Add
take
him
that
to
home
the
with
tank. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring
Yeah.
him home.
You probably wouldn't have a puffer
No.
fish after that.
Yeah, probably not.
me.
Probably be
Alligator would take
food.
over everything.
Have you ever been to Gatorland?
No, I haven't.
You heard of
I've
it?
heard
You know
a
it?
lot about it.
She just described it. She does not like to be around alligators.
Well, you can go there and not get around them unless you want.
Yeah.
Took the kids down there.
I've wanted to go because I've heard about it, but that is like
I went there as a kid.
Really?
Yeah, that's how long it's been there.
And
I
there's
think
like
everybody's been
rides
there
and
as a
stuff,
kid.
right?
Um,
Yeah. Like,
Oh, they got the zip line. You can zip line over the lagoon that's full of alligators if you would
yeah.
like.
No, no. That's
They
like
didn't used
one
to
of
have
my,
rides. It's been a while. The last time we were down there, my kids were young, and actually we paid. Both my boys went. You could go behind the fence and feed the gators, and like my wife was freaking out because these guys go out there with raw chicken, and they just start. When I tell you like gators, man, I mean like
Big ones.
like
big
big.
ones and like 30 of them.
Wow.
They just come up out of the water, and my boys were throwing them chunks of chicken like close to me to
Yeah.
Jackie.
I,
Wife was not happy about that.
that's one thing I like to see from a distance, right? Is
Yeah.
you don't want to be too close to some creatures, and an alligator is definitely
Yeah.
one of them.
That's
could
like
eat you.
one
They
of
could
my
eat you.
fears. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want anything that's trying to bite me.
Yeah. They'll let
From
you
a
go,
distance with a
but
fence and maybe a concrete wall, that would be okay. But yeah, I don't want to get
Yeah.
too close to it. But
yeah, I don't
Florida,
blame
we
you.
love Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very hot and humid.
Yeah, of course, it's that. But I like to be close to the ocean, and
Yeah.
obviously, so you grew up there,
Yeah.
and then found your
much.
way to Embry-Riddle over at
Yeah.
Daytona. Tell us about a little bit of that. Like, how did you hear about that originally?
So, I heard about Embry-Riddle, like just growing up next to an Air Force base. I was at a
Okay.
lot of air shows all the time. So naturally, where there's air shows, there's Embry-Riddle and people from Embry-Riddle.
Mhm.
But I was actually going to go to a school in Melbourne, and because I wanted to be a pilot originally, so I was going to go to flight school there. But then when I saw their maintenance facility, I was like, I didn't even know this was a thing. Like, and growing up, I loved building like model roller coaster kits and like Legos. I was a very hands on kid, even just crafts and stuff. So I always loved like the hands on stuff. And flying is great, don't get me wrong. But I'm like, I found that I would have more of a passion in hands on work like maintenance. And while they were giving the tour on the flight line, I walked away to the hangar and just kind of like separated from the group, and I was like asking the mechanics questions. I was like, what are you guys doing here? Like, can I see? And I was like, I am so much more interested in this. So, and then they didn't, unfortunately, that school didn't have like an A&P program. So I was looking at the schools I was accepted into, and I was accepted into Embry-Riddle, and I visited the program and I met the professors, and they were just great. It felt like a home already, so I just transferred and I ended up at Embry-Riddle. So it was a very last minute switch. It was never on my radar, honestly, but I would not trade it for the world. Like, I think me making that switch was the best thing I could have done in my entire life.
Yeah.
So,
What was it about the maintenance that drew you from the piloting?
it was just something about like the components. So I've always loved like airplanes and also like trains. Like in California, we would take like the train a lot. So I've always grown up around like mechanics and like vehicles and stuff like that. So it was just something about like the motors and the components and everything working together to make a bigger thing work. I was just like, this is so interesting.
Mhm.
And like just seeing all the wires and all these little tiny components, and they just work together, and I was like, I want to do this. So yeah, that's how I found
So
my way
growing
to
up, going to
Embry-Riddle.
air shows, kind of a general interest, maybe
Yeah.
the beginning of a passion with aviation.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about like that initial like was there a person that approached you that said, hey, you should consider this or do that? Is there anybody like that in your life, or did you have like a family member that said maybe you should think about going and being a airplane mechanic?
So there wasn't like so much of a defining moment to go into mechanics. There kind of was one for aviation. Like when I was in third grade, there was an assembly about like rescue helicopters. And when you're in third grade, you're like all squirmy, and assemblies are just get out of class free cards. So, but this one was like actually one that I paid attention to. And so I think that was a defining moment for me, like going into aviation, of that's when I realized like, this is what I want to do. And that's kind of when I started leaning towards like the engineering side of things, because they talked about like their engineering. I wanted to be an engineer before a pilot. So, and I think when I built like my model roller coaster kit for the first time, it was in 5th grade. I sat down on the living room floor and I spent like 5 hours building that thing. And like my mom had like never seen me do that. I was always running around. So after that, it was just like I leaned more into like working with my hands. So it was always kind of like a build up. And just seeing like the flight and then seeing that I could do something like hands on with aviation, it was like the best of both worlds. So it was kind of like a build up. There wasn't so much of a like, hey, go to aircraft, like be a mechanic for them. It was like, here are the two things I love. Let's mix them together. I didn't know I could mix them together. So, but yeah, it worked
It
out
seems
for
to be
me.
a pretty common theme. People who just like genuinely like working with their hands
Oh yeah.
kind of gravitate into this. Sometimes there's a person in their life or an opportunity that comes up that's like the defining moment, but you just kind of naturally went into it. And you're early on in your aviation career, right?
Yeah.
You're still in school, so you're working through it. Has there been any, since you've started with Embry-Riddle, has there been any, I thought I wanted to do this, but a change of direction that says now I want to be more going down this path specifically? Or you talked about helicopters a little
Yeah.
bit.
So, yeah, for avionics, like I kind of didn't know what I wanted to do when I first got there. I I don't have like much of a history in aviation. Like a lot of my classmates are like pilots, their dads are pilots, their parents are mechanics. I never had any of that. My uncle's the only like person in aviation and he lives very far away.
And what does he do?
So he flies for FedEx.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's a pilot for them, and he was like in the military, and he did fighter jet instructions and stuff. So he's an instructor for the F-16, I think. But yeah, so when I got there, when I went to the competition, I did some of their avionics events, and I ended up winning one of them. So that was kind of like a, hey, I like this and I'm not too bad at this. So I started leaning towards the avionics. But then the person who's also my coordinator for the first year I competed, and he's kind of like my mentor now, he kind of started introducing me into helicopters, and because he worked on helicopters in the Army. So we didn't have much exposure like at Embry-Riddle. We take a few class times to like look into helicopters, but it's mainly fixed wing. So we had one class that we looked at like the shell of like a helicopter, and then just the combination of talking to him and his experiences with helicopters, I like started leaning more towards that. So I'm really interested in the helicopter aspect of things, and I'm working to like hopefully implement it more into our school. I was able to take a group of students down to West Palm Beach in Florida, visit like a helicopter facility, and just after visiting that, I was also like, I could definitely see myself going to work on helicopters if I have the opportunity to. So yeah, that was kind of like a big moment for me, just visiting them, the facility in West Palm, just seeing everything. I was like, wow, this is really impressive.
You doing the AET on top of your AMP as well?
Yes,
Are you?
yeah, I'm doing the avionics minor at our school.
Good. So you're gonna have all disciplines. That's good.
Yeah.
That'll position you well in the job markets when you get out there.
I hope so.
We were talking about that last night too. Just the resume that you're building for yourself already is pretty incredible. But not only just the school that you're going to and just the overall passion for aviation. You talked a little bit about some leadership roles that you've held and how you've actually you're 20 years old now, but how you're actually stepping into like that leadership mentorship role with some of the other students. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I was secretary for Society of Aerospace Technicians. So I'm no longer in that position. New year, new positions. But with that, I was able to, like I said, expose like the helicopter industry. So I was able to talk to some of the new students who don't know that much about it, because you take those helicopter classes later in your course. So I was able to help them and expose them to that and be like, hey, with your A&P, you can do this too. And just in that position, I'm also able to meet some of like the freshmen and like the newer students. So I get to talk to them about like tools and just like general class advice. But so that's an exciting part of being like part of those clubs is it really brings us together as a family. And I also get to learn from the older students as well. I've met a lot of my good friends and acquaintances through those clubs, and just we all help each other. It's all like very much like a family. You help me, I help you. So just being able to do that, and then now being able to be the coordinator, I'm very excited for what this year holds. And I'm very excited to work alongside the new students that are coming in with me. So, yeah, I'm excited to hopefully like be what my past classmates were. Like some of the classmates who are older than me, I hope to be like them and help other people learn the way they have helped me learn.
Like a mentor. I mean,
Yeah.
basically, yeah.
Yeah, like my coordinator who I met the first year, my freshman year, I hope to be that for someone else. He has taught me so much, and he has pushed me in like ways I didn't think I was capable of like
Sure.
bending. So I hope to be that person for people who are coming in as well.
I think that's where Embry-Riddle and so many other schools are really hitting the mark so well, is because you can take young people and put them through a program, get them their A&P license, get them their certificates, whatever they're there for, and just move on to the next student. But it almost sounds like they're cultivating an atmosphere of working together.
Yeah.
We're giving back, right? Where you're here, but you're here for a bigger part of just yourself. You're here
Absolutely.
to learn initially, and then as you've learned some things and start to move through the process, start to teach.
Yeah.
And I think that is a really valuable a really valuable lesson that I wish more young people were getting exposure to.
Yeah.
Because like this industry for sure, and so many others, it's about giving back.
Mm-hmm.
It's about taking care
100%.
of the people around you.
Right.
It's not just I've got a job today, I'm going to get it done, and I'm going to try and not, interact with anybody else all day long. It's working together.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that's what they're doing out there too, and
Yeah.
I love to hear that.
Yeah, she's definitely building a reputation. I got to go down to Embry-Riddle last year. Me and Phil went down and did I spoke to some of the mechanics, and that's what actually run into her down there. But definitely the professors, the admin from the university, definitely they got people that they know that shine and excel in leading and trying to help. And I know that's where I actually met her. The first time I met her,
Right.
and a handful of others. But Embry-Riddle does a good job of that, of getting that started at an early age, because it is important when you get out in the job market to continue to help grow and
Of course.
bring up the
Absolutely.
next generation coming up.
Would you say that most of your instructors and the professors and things, that everybody that's there, that they're like highly engaged with the students, hands-on,
Absolutely.
working through things together.
Yeah.
Even just that, even just leading by example, I think is what we've always called it. You have those like high-level educators
Yeah.
who say, yeah, I'm not just going to tell you what you need to know, I'm going to show you
Yeah.
myself. That pulls a lot of weight, and it gets a lot of trust and buy-in and everything else, which is 100% applicable to the workforce once you go into working at a maintenance facility or whatever you end up doing, becoming a pilot or whatever.
Yeah.
Just learning that as part of the process early on is so important
Yeah.
for young people.
Who are some of the mentors that helped shape you? When you got to Embry-Riddle. I mean, was it
So-
one individual, or a handful, or?
So I would say Enrique. So he was one of the coordinators, or he was the coordinator for the competition the first year. So I met him just randomly one day after class. He brought stuff because he was hosting tryouts. So he needed students to try outs, and he's kind of like advertising it. And I met him and he taught me how to safety wire. That was the first time I learned.
We just talked about that.
So,
Yeah. Some people
yeah.
do just simplest things,
I
right?
I didn't know what safety wire was
Right.
before I came. And he taught me how to safety wire.
Is he an old helicopter
Yeah.
guy?
Yes, he's old
I was going to say
helicopter.
because
Yeah.
so I've AMP. Me and you talked about it last night.
Yeah.
Helicopter guys are safety wire critiques. Like
Yes.
they're like, that's not enough
Experts.
twist and per inch or this, and I'm
Yeah.
like, what? He's like, helicopter guys are death on safety wire. So yeah,
No, and he's like ridiculously like fast at it because the competition, one of them is like, how fast can you safety wire? And it's like, it'll be like 8 bolts, and I can do it in like 8 minutes. He can do it in like 5. And I'm like, how do you even move that
but
fast?
then they measure
Shout
how
out
many
Enrique.
twists.
and it
And then
looks
how long's the pigtail? The
great.
pigtail's too
Yeah.
short. The pigtail's too long. I
Yeah.
mean, no, they get
Yeah.
helicopter guy. First time I ever worked around a helicopter guy, he's like, that's safety wire. It looks like crap. I'm like, what? I mean, I'm not no expert, but I'm like,
Right.
he's like, nah. He's like, let me show you how to safety
Better
wire
than
that.
I could do, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, helicopter guys, it's fun. They are funny about their safety wire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would say definitely Enrique. He kind of like, he really helped me put my foot into like the aviation world. You know, I was kind of standing there dipping my toes in. He kind of like shoved me in and it was like, get in there, you know? So I would say he was one of the people who definitely shaped me. And then I would say one of my professors that stands out the most is Mr. Giannis. I've had him as a professor, I think pretty much almost every semester that I've had maintenance classes. And there's been a few labs where I'm just like, you know, I was doubting myself. I was like, I can't do this. I don't know what I'm doing, you know. And he was just like, you know, you got this. And he was just a great, kind of like a great light in my career so far. He's kind of been the person, he's very much like a dad. He's like, you know, he's tough, but he's like there when you need him. So I would say he's definitely shaped me, and he's definitely like pushed me and been like, when I'm about to not necessarily give up, but when I'm about to put stuff away, he's like, no, get it out and you gotta do it. So I would say he definitely shaped me, and definitely just in the sense of like keep going. Like there was one project we have, it's called a sub panel, and you have to fabricate like wire harnesses and stuff. And I was almost done with it, and he was just like, nope, redo this. And then when I redid it, you have to retest it. And the second time I retested it, it wasn't working, but it had worked previously. So I was about to be done, and that was the final project of the year. So I was about to be done with that, and I had finished like a week early, and then he said, can you redo it? So I did, and I was like, okay, well, while I'm here, let me fix some other things and just make them look prettier. And then I went to retest it, and it just wasn't working. And I was changing out wires, and I was constantly fixing things, and it just test after test wasn't working. And there were many times where I was frustrated, and I was like, I can't do it. Like this is never gonna work. And Mr. Giannis was just like, keep going, like you got it. And eventually, after spending the last week of where I would have been done, so I spent the last week doing it, I figured it out. And he was like, see, you were back there and you thought you couldn't do, but you figured it out. And it was like a really unique problem with like the relay. It was a really weird problem, but you know, he's just been a great light of like, you know, just keep going even when things are hard, you know. You're still learning, and I think I forget that sometimes, you know. I'm very tough on myself of I like to know things, I like to do them, and I want to do them as well as I can. And yeah, that's a great trait to have, but like it can be a little diminishing sometimes when it's like, okay, well, it's one thing after the another I'm not getting right. So, but Mr. Giannis has kind of like taught me, you know, it's good to have the mindset of you want to do these things right and like critique yourself on being better, but you're still learning at the same time. So,
You know,
yeah.
the interesting thing about mentors and, you know, friends and just relationships in general is that you don't realize how valuable it is at the time that it's happening, right?
Yeah.
Some people have some perspective and they say, okay, this person really cares about me. They're pouring into me, especially if you're in like an education environment. But that's going to continue to happen all the way through your life. You're going to have these people that are going to come into your life, and they're going to invest in you for maybe reasons you don't fully understand. And I think that is so important to try and tune into as you go on through your career and just your life in general, is that you're going to have these people who just genuinely want you to win. You don't know why. They're not, maybe not a family member, but they become good friends. And you have to kind of lean into that resistance because, a lot of people just want people around them that make them feel good all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
But what I just heard you say is you wanted to quit, and he was like, no, get back in there. You're not done yet. Get those tools back out again. We're going to finish this thing today, right?
Yeah.
You need people in your life that tell you things like that.
Yeah, I did not like I like Mr. Honest, but I did not like him that week.
Right.
I was like, you know what? I'm like, why aren't you helping me? And he's like, do it. And I was just like,
and these
but looking back, I'm thankful. I was like, I was hard on myself, and he would like, there was one day where he was like, Jackie, come on, like, you got it.
These are the things that you'll look back on, I'm sure. And I have these stories, and you have these stories. You'll look back on these days and you'll say, that was like a defining moment in my life.
Yeah, no,
where that person cared enough about me to tick
me.
me off, to push me. I was ready to quit. I was frustrated, all of these things. He said, no, you've got this. I'm going to be right here with you.
Yeah.
And and some days you'll have opportunities to give back like that in a certain way. But to know it's like the old Andy Bernard. I'm a big office guy, but it's like I wish we knew we were living in the good old days when they were happening, right? Like you don't gain that perspective until later on and you look back.
Yeah.
And I have one mentor in my life that's probably the most influential person in my professional career. And he's no longer with us. He passed away years ago, but he would do that for me too. And he kind of knew my limit. He knew how far I could be pushed, and he never went too far, but he would always encourage me to do more. And that's super important to have in your life, those people.
And that's kind of like what Enrique did for me too. There were days, same thing, competition. It gets intense,
Oh, I'm sure it does.
You have 8 events. You don't see the events till you get there, so you have to know your manuals.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. There were just days where I'm like, I'm mad. And then even at the competition, there were times where I was hard on myself. And Enrique was like, calm down, take a break, and recenter and focus. And like, at the time, I was like, I wanted to tell him to shut up. I was, I was angry because of the events, because it's a lot of pressure. And
he was probably ready for you to tell him that.
Yeah.
Right?
And I want to be the
expecting
best.
It.
Yeah, no. And so I wanted to look at him.
It's recorded now that she won.
Yeah, that's right.
Now he knows.
Yeah, right.
He's gonna listen and go, really?
Oh, he probably.
But here
I'm
we
sure
are talking
he
about
knows.
it.
No, that's good.
But yeah, there were those days where I would just want to be like, stop talking to me. But like, I'm glad he kept talking, and I'm glad, as angry as not so much angry, but as frustrated as I was with myself, I'm glad I had people like Enrique and Mr. Giannis to be like, this anger right now is like, this is just a moment. You're just having a moment. This is not you as a mechanic.
Right.
You're more than
we all get there.
What your anger is making.
Plenty of frustrating moments ahead of you,
for
for sure. Right? Yeah, it's but they're teaching you far beyond the curriculum.
Yeah.
At that point,
Absolutely.
They're teaching you life
Characters,
character, teaching you how to problem solve and work through frustration, and to know it's okay to be frustrated.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad that you felt like you had somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they carry that frustration. It's a big problem in the industry because it is tough and there is pressure. I mean, aviation is a pressure cooker.
Oh, it is.
Like, we crank up the heat to get things done in half the time. That's constantly what we're trying to figure out in aviation.
Doing it right and safely too is all all in one pot at the same time.
Absolutely.
It's a
But
lot.
you know what? I have a pressure cooker at home. Do you got one?
No.
Do you or your wife? Okay.
No. But I know what they are.
I'm an Instapot guy.
Okay.
So
we got an Instapot.
It's a good.
I thought about the old pressure cooker.
Like grandma's.
Yeah, they
on
had the
the
little
stove. No.
on top.
No, so it's a good metaphor though, and I've used this before in aviation. This business is like an Instapot. You know,
Oh, yeah.
it's a pressurized vessel where we're all working extremely hard to get things done as fast as possible.
Yeah.
But do you know what every pressure cooker or grandma's or the Instapot has on the top? It's that little relief valve, that little tss, you
The
know, you push
steam,
it.
yeah.
Because if you don't have that, what do you have on your kitchen
bomb.
counter? You have a bomb on your kitchen counter, and that thing will explode and blow up the whole kitchen
Oh yeah.
if you don't have something to let that pressure off. And I think that's what Mr. Giannis
Yeah.
and
And
Enrique
Enrique are,
and those
yeah.
people in your life,
They're helping you find your pressure relief valve.
They're letting you hit that pressure relief valve.
Sometimes they crank up the heat though a little
You know,
bit.
sometimes they're turning the temperature up a little
Well,
bit
then
too.
but that pushes you
It makes
to
it
know
cook
where you
faster,
can.
yeah.
Well, it pushes you to know where you can go. To
Absolutely.
Because you've got to be able to identify. Okay, I got to walk away for a minute, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you're going to do it in your career. I've done it. We
I
do it in
already
everything,
have.
not just our careers, but there is a time you just like, you know what? I got to walk away for a minute. I go over here and get a
Catch
drink of
breath.
water.
Yep.
I got to get away from this for a minute.
Yeah.
Chill out. All right, now let me go back to situation at hand. Let me refocus, and let's reattack this thing.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't exactly right. 100% agree with you. I can't tell you how many times I've had guys get right to that point that you're describing or what you're describing of frustration, and tell me that they needed a minute, and they would go out to their car, take a break, just walk out to the parking lot, turn on the radio, whatever you need to do, sit there for 10, 15 minutes, and they've been struggling trying to get this task done for the last hour or a couple hours.
Yeah.
15 minutes in the car, they come back in, fresh perspective, they took a breath,
Oh, yeah.
and they immediately can figure it out. They
Yeah.
can get it done. And so, valuable lesson, take those timeouts when you need them. You know,
Yeah.
just
absolutely.
regroup yourself and just think about something else for a minute and come back to it. And 9 times out of 10, I'd say you're probably going to figure it right out.
Yeah.
I told you last night I like troubleshooting. We were talking about
Yeah.
I know you like electronics, avionics. I like troubleshooting, and I told you I like the problems that everybody else would get to that point and they're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I wanted those problems, and they would get me frustrated too.
Mm-hmm.
But I would, my relief was when I would stick with it. Obviously you can't leave in the middle of the day, but I'd find my best time was when I was riding home, turn the radio off, and I just start rolling in my head. All right, I've got this going on. I've checked A, B, C, D on down the line, and I keep rolling through my head what I've done. And when I take time to slow down and breathe and let go of that frustration, it's like, oh, I wonder if it's this.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then,
It's that moment of clarity.
yeah, and then, you go back in the next day, you go back to that point, and it's like, aha.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you get so, like Adam said, that pressure just keeps building, and it just gets to the point where it clouds your normal train of thought, your processes that you have to go through. So you got to just be like, okay, it'll be here.
Take a step back.
Yeah.
And like you said, you were that, you walked into a situation of somebody was frustrated. They couldn't figure something out. Let's say we've all had our arm way up inside of an airplane trying to put a bolt in backwards, upside down.
Oh, yeah.
Can't get it. And then say, hey, you ask somebody that's walking by,
I've
can you
done
give me a
that
hand
before.
with this? They jump in there and they're like, yep, whoop, there it is. Right
Well, I've
there.
done that many times. I'm like, man, I can't get this stupid thing started. Will you get it?
Yes.
And they're like, they're like,
That's a powerful message. I mean, honestly, sometimes you're that person. Sometimes you're the person asking for help.
yeah.
But you have to be both people sometimes.
Yeah.
And just understand that's part of the business. And it's really, there's a message, I think, here bigger than just aviation professionals. But I think it's actually just good to understand that once you reach a certain level of you're done. You're frustrated, you're done, you've worked at it, you can't get it. It's okay to ask for help.
Right.
It's okay to ask for help. And sometimes that's exactly, that's the solution. It's just asking for help.
Well, you mentioned character a while ago. You know what I liked about her story of your electrical panel you built, your relay panel you
My
built?
sub panel, yeah.
No. I really want to pay you a compliment because I liked what you said on your own. She said, I went back and redid some things and I made some other things better.
Yeah.
That's huge. That
is huge.
That is huge of because there's people who will do it, and then there'll be people who do it to the nth degree. And we got to have that in aviation.
Absolutely.
We got to have that, and you can't you can't teach that to people. That's got to come from within.
It is. It is something that once you choose to go down this path of being an aviation professional, it will plague you the rest of your life.
Oh, it will.
Because you can't
Absolutely.
do a simple task at home. You can't patch a hole in the wall at home without just highly scrutinizing that thing to the very end. But it's a part of your makeup. It's part of who you are. It becomes, even more like sensationalized
But it'll help you
bigger.
so much. It'll help you so much.
But it's really, you got to lean into that
Yeah.
feeling, because it's what makes this business so great.
And it'll set you apart too. It'll set you apart.
Yes.
I mean, to where people know, that shop manager, that crew chief, he's like, when I need it done, because I got a high demand customer, I've got to have it it's got to be 10 out of 10. Who's my go-to? Oh, Jackie's my go-to.
Yep.
And but to Alan's point, it won't haunt you. I was helping my son put fog lights on his truck not too long ago, and I got in there, and the wiring is a mess, and I'm like, what the crap?
We got to clean this up first.
And I start doing this.
I've been there too.
And he's like, it's all good, Dad. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
not with me doing it. I'm like, and that's not me. That's you have a toolbox yet?
Oh yeah, I have like a pack out. That's what we carry at the schools.
Oh,
like
okay. So you ain't got
toolbox.
drawers.
Not like an actual foam and stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
it's just a pack
Oh,
out.
yeah, so I can't
It
stand
has
my tools
drawers,
have to be
though.
my tools
Shadowed. Yep.
Well, my box is not shadowed by foam, but you could go in my box and take out something, and I have it laid out to the point that I know, and I'll be like, you took this.
Yeah.
And it disturbs me when it's
I probably
not in
haven't.
line.
I don't think I've physically touched an airplane with a wrench in probably like 7 or 8 years. But still, my toolbox is in my garage at home. If I'm gonna change the brakes on the car or whatever I'm gonna do, everything is still shadowed. Thankfully, because it was before. But
Oh, yeah. No,
like
that's
if
the way
I'm
to do
missing
it.
that one wrench, I will
notice
have to
that.
stop everything until I can find that one tool, because it will drive me crazy.
Well,
Yeah.
as you know, I have 2 boys, and
Yeah.
my youngest one, he's the more mechanical of the 2. That's fine, and that's cool. But I can tell when Shane's been in my toolbox.
Oh yeah.
Shane, and he listens to our podcast, so he knows now.
know.
I'm like,
I
so
know.
put the tools back, boy.
I know. It's like when my wife is asking me to like hang a picture or something in the
And you see it
in the living room.
Just,
Oh gosh.
There's that. But where I'm going with it is, like, if she's asked me and I'm like, yep, okay, I'll hang that up, and it's sitting there, and she's asked me again, and I haven't gotten to it yet, and then she starts heading to the garage to get in the toolbox, because she's just like, I'm just going to do it myself. Like, I don't want anybody touching those tools, right?
Yeah.
I like, that's your that's your mecca. That's your prized possession right there. And
I'm with
I
you.
think she's found that out about me too, because I think like she just starts heading to the garage now, and I jump right up and go, and
So I have the garage.
the picture's hung immediately.
I have a garage, and then I have my shed out in the back of the house.
Yeah.
There's a toolbox in the shed, and there's my toolbox, like from when I was mechanicking, in the garage. And I tell Shane,
Yeah.
Shane, you can do whatever you want to with the tools and the
Yeah.
toolbox in the shed.
Yeah.
I'm like, now this is my
Don't touch-
toolbox.
those are
If I ever have
husky
to,
socket sets and things. Yeah.
if
but
I
don't
have to
touch
go
the
back
snap-on.
into being a mechanic, if this sales gig crashes or this podcast crashes, I'm like,
Right.
But if we're working together, we'll work out of my toolbox. But when you're working by yourself, your toolbox is in the shed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. It's a
Well,
real
speaking of
thing.
tools, I want to talk to you about the maintenance team. You're the
Yeah.
coordinator, right?
yes, this year I'm the coordinator for the
So
two teams.
let's talk about that, because I've heard of the competitions, I've seen them in magazines, but I never had the privilege to watch it in person or understand what goes on. So tell us about what a coordinator does, how you pick people on your team, and walk us through a competition. I'd love to hear more about this.
So our main competition is the one at MRO Americas. They
Yep.
have their AMC. This is like
And
maintenance.
you're competing against other
Olympics.
schools only? Are you
So-
competing? Because I know there's and I didn't mean to stop you, but I want to make
No,
sure
you're
how I
good.
understand. So you're competing against teams, or because I've seen the ones where it's like the Delta team and the FedEx
Yeah.
team. Are y'all competing against them as well?
So there's a school category.
Okay.
There's like MRO, military.
Oh yeah.
So when we compete, we just compete against other schools. However, some of these other schools are like schools that are really good at stuff, or like have a lot of veterans, or like schools that are like adult schools and stuff like that. So people who already are already A&Ps. So we still have very tough competition. So, but at this competition, I want to say it's around 30 events. And
Wow.
so there's a ton of different events. Each student gets 8 events, and it's split 2 days. So you have 4 events one day, 4 events the next. And there's all types of events. So there's like fan blade removal, there's fixing antennas, there's fabricating wire harness, there's fixing cargo locks, there's air data testing, there's boroscope. So there's like a ton of different events that you do. But so we split them up. The way we choose our teams is we have a tryout, and it's about 2 months long.
Wow.
So yeah, it's every week, 1 to 2 days a week. And what we do is we have a few of the events. We have like mock-ups that we built ourselves. So like students built them. We have students practice. We teach them the events. So we have like former members who will come and help and show you how to do the event. And you do the event, and we have timesheets. So we look at like how your times progress over the week. We also look at your level of commitment. So, I understand like not everybody can make like Tuesday and Wednesday because of like classes and stuff. But we look like if you can come Tuesday, are you coming every Tuesday? Are you staying? Are you getting those times down? We also look for character, of course, how do you work with others? Are you going to be able to work as a team? Because there are team events. So, like my boroscope event that I did this past year was a team event. I worked alongside Miss Haley Knott, and she was reviewing the camera while I was like pushing the boroscope to go around. So it's like, can you work together, and can you work together under pressure? Because the tryouts do have a little bit of pressure of like, hey, we have like little friendly competitions, like we have 2 safety wire boxes. So we'll have people go against each other. We see like, how do you do under pressure? How's the time going? Can you work together? Do you have good sportsmanship? Are you like, hey, great job, these look great? Or are you just walking away? So that's how we kind of host our tryouts. We have 2 teams, so each team has 6 students. We have 5 who compete, and then we have 1 alternate for each team. So in case somebody who's competing gets like sick or something, we have the backup, and they have to learn all the events. So the alternate positions are pretty intense, and we have had our alternates go in. So it's not like, oh, I just am an alternate, I don't do anything. Our alternates have gone in.
Sure.
So that's how we do it. And then once we have the teams established, we train. So we train, each team are sponsored. We have the 2, they're both sponsored by different people. So we have the Pratt and Westar, and then Airbus. So they're sponsored, and each team has different practice days, and they practice once a week. But as we get closer, we move to like 2-day practices, 3-day practices. So it's pretty intense, and we spend like our spring break training.
Wow.
So yeah, we have like
so it is a pretty big commitment.
It's a very big. It's like playing a sport in a way. You
Right.
you
That's what I
have.
was thinking. It sounds like that.
Yeah, a lot of people come in and they think like, oh, this is just the team, but like once you're in it, it's a lot. We have sponsored dinners, we have sponsor events, so we're traveling a lot. So like our spring break, we spend training the whole spring break. You get like the weekend off. So it's a big commitment, and then sometimes you have to give up your weekend. We do Saturday practices as we get closer, but the students who do it are great, and they're very committed to it. And so I hope that this year, we get another great bunch of students as we have the past 2 years. And I'm sure we will. The maintenance department is filled with very talented people.
What do you guys win?
So,
I mean, a trophy.
Yeah, what's
a
on the
plaque?
line?
Is there
tools.
Tools.
tools
Yes.
for the team?
Say no
So
more.
Oh yeah.
the
right.
way it works is they only announce first place winner. So they do like first place in each category. So they'll do first place for like military MRO, and then first place for school. So the first place, normally it's like tools. They do snap-on tools. For the
Wow.
borescope, it was like a whole borescope kit.
Obviously, so borescope goes to the school, or even do the tools
Yes.
go to the school?
So it depends on the event.
Mm.
Like one of the events I won was an American Airlines logo light, and the students on the team, the whole team goes up to be like the first place. They don't recognize as like, oh, Jackie's the only one who won. It's the Pratt and Whitney Embry-Riddle team won. So the whole team goes up and they each get a prize, everybody on the team. So that year we got tools. It was like snap-on tools. This year, one of the students on my team, he won a fuel nozzle replacement. And so the whole team goes up and everybody on the team got a maintenance initial scholarship. So
Oh,
there's
very
tons
cool.
of
Is that the
different
one you're going
prizes.
to?
That's a different one.
Oh,
So
okay.
I have two.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a separate one. That one's for Pratt and Whitney.
Okay.
And then the one I'm training for is Dassault. But so but like if I had won the borescope, which we came second place in, so we barely missed
Mm.
it, the borescope would have gone to the school.
Yeah.
But
Makes
like
sense.
other events, it'll be
But
like
like a GE
individual.
borescope? I mean, 'cause that's, or,
It was like a nice big one.
Yeah.
It was a USA
okay.
borescope. That's the company.
Okay.
But yeah, and then there was one event I really wanted to win. I also came second place this year. It's DMC wire harness. So they give out nice DMC crimpers. And I saw it from the year before because another girl on the other team had one. So on our Airbus team, I've always been on the Pratt team. I don't know, that's just how it falls. But and I saw them. So this year I came back. I'm like, I want those crimpers. Like it's a nice little kit, and everybody on the team gets them. And we came in second place.
Everybody gets a kit?
Yes,
A DMC kit? I mean, or,
everybody on your team that you win. So if like somebody
Yep.
on the Pratt team wins, everybody on the Pratt team wins. If somebody on
and
the
y'all were
Airbus
allowed,
team,
I guess the university allows y'all to keep them. They go in your
Yeah.
personal toolbox?
yes,
That's cool.
yeah.
Wow.
But
That's
if it's like the borescope, it's just one borescope
Yeah, no, I
for
get
the
that part,
team.
but yeah.
But if it's like individual
Those
tools,
DMC
yeah,
crimpers ain't cheap.
they were so nice.
And
I was
huge
so
bragging
mad.
rights too. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, you want to win just to win.
Oh,
too.
Yeah, I mean, you're competing
prizes
against
are
like
great, but-
40 schools,
Yeah.
so
yeah,
So, like
Yeah.
you
huge
said,
honor.
you were second. Did they tell you on borescope? What are they judging you off of? Time,
So-
quality of pictures, how you're able to
yeah.
get in and look at an area, or what, or what? Or,
So for each event, it's scored differently, obviously. So for like the borescope event, they look at your time, but so they hide like different things, and you have to use the borescope to find them. So it's how many things can you find, and how much time can you do it.
Yeah.
And then for like the wire fabrication, the DMC one that I did, it's did you do the crimping correctly? Did you put out the right setting? Do you have a good crimp? Is the wire connected to the cannon plug correctly? You have to like practice torquing a safety cable. So it's did you set it to the right torque? And then obviously how fast you can do. But they look for quality as much as they do time because
no, that's cool.
you can also get penalties for your quality. So if you miss something, that's 15 seconds. So it like indirectly but directly works together at the same time.
Very cool.
I'd
Yeah.
like
Very
to.
cool.
I'd check that. I've never seen one in person. Now I want to watch one just to see it.
Yeah,
It's
really.
pretty intense
I
once
mean,
you get there.
Yeah, you've got the competition side of things, right? Which is so interesting because I've never actually witnessed one before either. I'd love to go watch, but I want to make sure we talk about one other thing too. Your involvement with women in aviation
Oh, yeah.
groups.
Yeah.
Because that is such an important, message, organization. I've got daughters at home. We talked about this last night at dinner, and I think we need to be like clearing a path to make this not just a male-dominated industry.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I say that plainly because it just is.
Yeah.
It's mostly guys getting into aviation historically.
Yeah.
We want to change that. Tell us about your involvement with like the women in aviation groups, and
Okay.
I'd also like to hear what can we be doing better. Like what do we need to do to like to raise the bar there to get more ladies interested in going into aviation?
So I'll start with that question. to help with women in aviation, I would say right now being there for the ones that are already in the field is a lot, because as a woman, you walk in and the spotlight is immediately on you. You're the girl with the long hair, you walk in. So, and it's a matter of like, you have to push yourself into that spotlight. You can either run from it or you can like stand there and shine in it. But having
Well
that
said.
support, like just like anything like in a theater, you need your backstage crew to help put on the whole production. So just having men being supportive in the sense of like, hey, like not so much of like taking over, but like, hey, are you good? Like, how are you? What are you like? What's up? Just having that kindness and having that bond, it means more than people think it means. So just being able to have a friend and making women feel comfortable in the sense of like, hey, as a guy friend, you can come to me. Let's talk maintenance and we'll be fine together.
Right.
Instead of like, oh, you're a woman, you're going to need my help anyway.
Right.
It's like, as when you establish that friendship and that like support of, hey, I'm here for you, that lifts us up a lot, because
Right.
it's just like any other friend, just as female to female. It's like, hey, we're friends. Hey, we're friends too. So it's like a great thing to have that support system. Um, and then my involvement, like in Women in Maintenance. So I'm part of Women in Corporate Aviation. It's a group. It's kind of like Women in Aviation, but more focused on the corporate side.
Okay.
Are they mechanics or
It's
flight attendants?
everything.
Or,
It's everything.
so
Yeah,
just
so
women in
flight-
aviation, anything. Okay.
Pretty much, yeah. It's pretty much Women in Aviation corporate.
Okay.
So corporate focus. So I went to NBA base, and just being able to like lift each other up in that sense of like, hey, female to female, you're doing great in the aviation field was great. So, but I had a scholarship. I got to meet a ton of the people in Women in Corporate, and I actually met another female mechanic, and her and I still talk to this day. We're really great friends, but so even just having those areas to have women be able to come together and show each other different aspects, because I met flight attendants too and other female pilots. So just having those areas of like women being able to lift each other up is great. And then I'm also in Women in Maintenance. So we have a chapter at our school. We just got it officiated to be a chapter. So I'm part of that. I'm secretary for that right now. I've been part of it since I came freshman year. And then we're working towards going towards the conference, the national like Women in Maintenance conference in September or August. So that's my involvement in those groups. So, and just like in that club, we try to show women, because especially like at Embry-Riddle, there's very few of us. There's like,
I was going to ask you what's the ratio?
That's
I
a
mean,
good
I know
question.
you don't know the exact, but what would you say in the maintenance side at Embry-Riddle, which is obviously
Currently.
a big school, big school, would you say it's 5% females, 25% females, or what? I mean, if you had to put a number, would you guess?
maybe 15%.
15.
Yeah.
Wow. So still.
Just in the maintenance, yeah, because there's like, it'll be, or it could, it depends like on the class, but like overall in the population of like the whole maintenance department, probably like 50%.
I'd be interested to have like the figures too, and I'm sure somebody can probably produce
Oh,
this.
yeah.
Yeah.
But and then the follow up to the question to that is like, is that improving or are we declining? Has it stayed the same for 20 years? I mean, what does that look like? Because
Yeah, for sure. I want to know too that how are you guys, you young ladies, I'm sorry, how are y'all received from the rest of your classmates?
Okay, so coming in, it's obvious like, oh, here's the girls, and it's kind of like the spotlight situation again. It's like they're kind of like watching us to like see.
So you're
how
already
we do.
subjected to it in school. I mean,
You
if
feel
we're
it.
being
Yeah.
honest, you're already feeling that
The pressure.
segregation, if you will, or whatever.
Yeah.
That you're already being judged by just walking in the door as a female.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, you walk in and it's a little intimidating because you see all these guys, and a lot of them have worked at like automotive or like a lot of stuff, so they know a lot. So it is a little intimidating to walk in. But I found that as I progressed throughout the program, I become more like I see them eye to eye instead of me feeling like they're looking down on me.
You
Like,
feel that way. Do you think they see that as well? I'm again. This is a really good conversation. I mean,
I would say there's like a select few, there's there's going to be a few who are like, hey, you're a woman. But a lot of the men actually at Embry-Riddle are really great about working eye to eye with each other.
Yeah.
have
So,
you ever had one come
As I would
ask you for
expect
some
that to
help?
be.
yeah, actually,
Cool, good.
yeah, we
That's
worked,
good to know. I mean,
yeah, in recips. So it was actually like the girls' table. We don't purposely try to bridge ourselves off from them. It's just
Just
kind of
naturally
naturally.
happens.
There's only like four of us. The groups are of four, so naturally the four of us came together and we're friends.
Do you find ladies going through the program like the girls' table, the conversations that are happening there? Do you channel that feeling of trying to get up there to be eye to eye with some of the rest of the male students? Do you channel that into like an obsessive drive to
Determination,
just
yeah.
be the best at what you're doing?
It definitely
'Cause
like
I could see that being really good.
yeah.
Oh,
It
yeah.
kind of lights a little bit of a fire under you.
For sure it would.
I would definitely say like I wouldn't be in the positions I am or have tried as hard as I have, like at the competition and everything like that, if I didn't feel a little bit of pressure from the
Yeah.
guys. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think it's
No, I don't
great
think
to
so
like
either.
classmates push you in every single way. But yeah, I definitely would say
Finding
it kind
that
of
channel.
yeah.
Like tuning into it and just finding that like drive, whatever it
Yeah.
is, you know.
Absolutely.
On the flip side, you could have somebody walk into that competition and just be like, "We've got this in the bag, right?" We see
Yeah.
it every March during basketball season. We see these massive upsets where teams come in and they're like, "Oh, we got this in the bag," and
Yeah.
then they get upset by a team that should have never. And I'm
Right.
not saying this in your,
Yeah.
situation, but these teams that are kind of like the underdog story, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've known a bunch of female A&P mechanics in my career. I'm sure you have
Oh, yeah.
too. And I will go down on record as saying like almost every single one of them have been rock stars.
Yeah.
And I
Well-
think that might have something to do with it, where they've just
It-
had to like
yeah,
overcome
definitely.
a few things that not everybody else has.
How do you make a diamond?
Pressure?
Pressure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of like, it's like, you're going over a hill. Some people have to go climb up steeper hills, so it's definitely, you gotta
Hmm.
work a little harder. So, but I would say, yeah, definitely just being the female, walking into a class full of guys, sometimes it lights a little bit of a fire of like, oh, I need to get up to the standard and I have that pressure. But again, like the spotlight thing, it's like you can either run from the spotlight or you can say, I'm going to stand in the spotlight and I'm going to do my thing.
I like that.
I
That's
So,
great.
yeah.
That's awesome.
So that's kind of my perspective of I can cower
Good
away
for
and I
you.
can be like, oh, I'm the female, or hey, I'm the female. Let's do it. You know?
And be that voice out there too, because again, we understand how the industry looks, how it's looked for a long time, and to me, it's not as much of a problem as more of an observation. It's something that's maybe that we're missing the mark somewhere.
Well, it is a problem. I mean, we need mechanics so bad.
We do.
And
we
so,
do.
hey,
But I'm a firm believer too that in the aviation world especially, I don't want anybody in the fire that doesn't want to.
Oh, I
be
agree.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think where we are missing the mark, and where maybe the problem is we're not reaching young girls
Yeah, exposure.
at a young
Yeah.
age as well as we are with the guys.
I don't think the message is there that, hey, there is a place for females in aircraft maintenance.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't. It's kind of like when people talk to me, and they say, "Well, what do you do, Adam?" And I say, "Well, I'm in aviation," and they're like, "Oh, you're a pilot." They just automatically assume I'm a pilot.
Yeah.
And I've never flown an airplane except for in a simulator.
Not very well.
Horribly.
He died.
One time. Right? So there's assumptions that are made,
Yeah.
right? I don't want young girls like my three girls, if they ever decided to go into aviation, I don't want them to think that they're limited to just a couple of avenues in
Yeah.
aviation. I want them to believe they can do whatever they want to do and to have resources available for them to get there.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you one last thing. I know we've had her for about an hour, but
Yeah, as we wrap
so I
up.
know you said you had some friends who were mechanics that you're in touch with.
Yeah.
How do they feel and how do they see and what feedback do they give you from being in the industry out so you're still in school. I understand you're already dealing with it to some level in school. What are your female mechanic friends telling you that they're feeling and seeing out in the industry? I'd love to hear some insight on that.
There's definitely like mixed stories, some of them have like their ups and downs, but it's all just like kind of like it's like going back into college, but you're going out into the real world of like, hey, you're kind of back at the bottom of you're learning again. So it's not so much I haven't seen or I haven't heard so much of like, oh, I'm a female, it's rough. They have, of course, again, first impression, you're the girl, but they're more than capable of like proving themselves and stuff. So it's more just of like, hey, be ready to learn and keep the tough skin that you've built, like you've worked so hard to build.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they
Good
do
for you.
great.
Yeah, I love the drive. I love the fire.
Me too. The stories.
I love your saying you can either run from the spotlight or stand in it and shine.
Yeah.
Shine in it.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
I know.
That's pretty. So yeah, that's a pretty good one there.
Yeah. Well, we're so happy that you came on, Jackie. It's been a pleasure. We got to wrap up.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. No, it's been great.
Yeah. Keep doing what you're doing. Again, I know I've heard of your name when I was down there, and obviously you've got a great resume building. Just keep the course.
Keep up the good work.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. We want to check in on you in a couple of years. And
I think you'll hear about it. I don't think we'll have to
just know
check.
you're
I don't
doing
think
all
we'll
kinds of
check.
stuff.
Hey, you know what? We'll have to. Hopefully the podcast is still going. Hopefully me and you are
Yeah.
still around, and maybe
We'll see.
on the
Do like
5-year anniversary of whatever today is, June, whatever 23rd, whatever it is,
5-year
24th.
reunion.
We wanna check back in
We're
with
gonna
you.
bring a 5-year Jackie in and say what's going
She'll
on.
be
What
running the
are you doing
world.
there? She'll be a DOM running the world. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
That'd be
I hope
great.
so. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
So.
No, thanks. I think that's another one wrapped up, bro.
That's it. Yeah.
Great.
Uh,
Thank you.
Rick, tell them how they can find us. I usually do that, but let's
Oh, yeah,
give you
yeah.
a shot at it.
Spotify,
Spotify.
LinkedIn, YouTube, Apple TV.
Yeah, tune in.
Yeah, you
Listen
can
in.
find us there at Two Plain Guys, or you can find me, Buffkin Rick.
Yeah. Hit us up on
ABJ,
Instagram.
yep.
Throw us a follow. We want to see your comments too. So
Yep.
reach out in the comments. If you have a question, if you have a guest that you'd love to hear a story on, give us a shout. We'd love to talk about that.
All right, Two Plain Guys. We're done. Out.
That's
See
it.
ya.
See ya.